Hello everyone, and welcome back to Dice Fable, where we use dice to bring stories to life. Now, in the last episode, we created our sector, our starting sector for our Starforged game, Riding Hood and the Cradle. We called it Sector Rosalind's Hideout. We discovered that there's another settlement here called Jane's Farm, and it's where our friend Cassidy lives, who is a farm girl who wants to seize power. And so I'm sure that will not cause any issues in the future at all. So let's see here. So the next thing we have to do is we have to make Elise Holdermann herself. And so I've already kind of done this beforehand, but I'll just go through it again with all of you as well. And also, I say the next thing, but really you can do this in any order. In the rulebook, the character actually comes first, and then you kind of can sort of make the sector around who your character is. But yeah, I've already done it, so I'll just go through the process with you, and we'll see what comes up. So the first thing you do is take the asset cards, and if you ever played a Powered by the Apocalypse game before, you know exactly what moves are, and if you don't, they're just abilities that you can use that make your character kind of unique and, uniquely you. So the first thing we have to do is ready the assets. And so as you can see here, I've already gone through all of these, don't worry, but I just wanted to show you what kind of assets there are. Banner Sworn, Blade Master, Bounty Hunter, Brawler, Courier, Demolitionist, Devotant, and all of that fancy jazz. So first thing we do is you choose two paths. So two assets from among the paths for your character. So we can see paths here. Augmented is if you have an augment, Banner Sworn if you have Banner Sworn, and there's lots of these where you can pick. But the first one I was going to pick was Voidborn, and you can see this a lot better if I go to assets over here. So let me just get rid of that. Actually, we'll deal with that later. But yeah, Voidborn is the first one I picked. And Voidborn says, you are most suited to life. We start on Void, so each asset has 3 moves, but you always start with the first one. And then when you level up, you can spend experience to get more. But Voidborn basically means you are most suited to life within a limitless void. When you are in space or a space-bound vehicle, increase your momentum reset by 1. When you enter a planet-side or high-gravity environment, lose momentum. So momentum is this thing up here, and when we actually play through this, you'll see how it works. But basically, it allows us to succeed on rolls we would otherwise fail, and things like that. And the higher it is, the more opportunities you can the higher it is, the higher the chances that you'll actually be able to do that. So you want momentum to be higher. And it always starts with 2. When you after you do that, the momentum always starts at 2 and goes back to 2. But you can see here that when we're in space, we can increase it by 1. So, yeah, and that's basically because, and I picked that basically because, as I said numerous times, we are an independent mining family, along with other traders and things like that, on the outskirts of the Cradle, trying to, be our home, away from lots of noble families and lots of corporations and things like that. And so, we were born on we've lived on ships, we were born on a station, we probably, we don't go to planets very much. So this is basically the, if you're familiar with the Expanse, this is basically the Belter asset. We're more suited to space than we are to planets. And we, when we enter a planet or high gravity place, our body doesn't take it very well. So that's why I picked Voidborn. Now the second path I picked was Shade. Now Shade is actually a magical asset, and normally it would be about you using magic to cloud yourself and stuff. So, drawing on esoteric energies, you can instantly cloak your form in the shadowy veil of the void. When you are veiled and make a move to ambush, hide, or sneak, you may preset your action die to 5. In darkness, make it 6. On a mish, in addition to any other cost, you are revealed and can't veil yourself again until the current situation is resolved. So, essentially, what that means is we are a bit more stealthier. And that means that, at minimum, we'll have an action die of 5. So yeah, normally that would be our abilities, but what I'm gonna say is that is our father gave us this red riding hood that we wear, and that hood is magical in nature. And that hood is what allows us to veil ourselves. So to represent the magical hood, we're going to use the shade asset. So it's not us doing it, it's the hood. It's us doing it through the hood. And the last one, so I'm not actually, I was going through the last ones before, and I did think about Fugitive, because I thought that, maybe Half Moon Industries is after us specifically, but that's not really being a fugitive, really. And I was wondering whether to just, and I was kind of wondering that I don't have to take the fugitive asset. I can actually just add a threat clock that will count down to when they decide they want to deal with us. So that's actually kind of a waste. So for the third one, I'm going to have a look to see what we have here. So I don't think we're a weapon master, and I am basing this on what like Red Riding Hood would kind of have as well, which is why I got the shade asset for the hood, because I've always felt, between you and me, I've always felt in that fairy tale that the riding hood is meant to be like a magical an anti-wolf kind of thing, and that's why the mother gave it to her before sending her out into the forest by herself. Obviously, it didn't really work, but yeah, that's my headcanon. That's my headcanon for that particular fairy tale. So, a lot of these aren't going to make much sense. The one that I thought did make sense is, let me see if I can find it here. So I did think about courier because we're gonna have to bring something to Grandma, but we're not really a courier as like a career. We're not a courier as a career. We've kind of been forced into that role, so I'm not gonna pick the asset for that. But what I am gonna pick is, see if I can find it here. I'm gonna pick. Yeah, I'm just having a look. We're not an ace. We're not an ace or an archer or an armored or anything like that either. So I think the one that made sense to me was demolitions. Let me see if I can find demolitions. Get rid of this, and then let's pick. And there's not really. I'm talking about this like there's a wrong answer. There's not a wrong answer, but yeah. Let's see. Commander. What is commander? There's some new ones here I've not heard. Oh, that's for multiplayer. So let's have a look here for some more ones. I don't want commander. I want demolitionist. Yeah, we're miners. We blow through asteroids and things. So I think that she would have some experience with explosives. So that just means that when you make a move to attack, destroy, or sabotage, by deploying or triggering an explosive device, choose the value of your charge for rolling. Normal is 1. If either charge die is equal to or less than the charge, count a weak hit as a strong hit. If not, and your action die is equal to, yeah, I'll read through that. That actually looks quite complicated. I'll read through that in my own time, just to make sure I understand it. But story-wise, yeah, I think that fits, because we're a miner, we wouldn't know how to make things explode. And yeah, so it's interesting that we have experience with demolitions, and our friend Cassidy on Jane's farm wants to seize power. So this could be quite interesting. But let's carry on. So yeah, we're Voidborn, we have Shade, and we're a Demolitionist. And I actually skipped ahead because I was only meant to pick 2, but yes, we'll get there in the end. Create your backstory. I've already done that. I've kind of done that verbally, and I've also did that in the trailer. We know what's gonna happen. Half Moon Industries are gonna attack our home, and we're gonna have to leave. Background vow. Envision a background vow to represent a primary motivation or goal. Give it an epic rank. Okay, so the background vow. Okay, so in Starforged, the way this works is you make vows to people well, it's up to you how the vows work, but for me, black iron, that thing that helped us escape from our galaxy at home, people revere it, so I think, so when you swear a vow on it, people think that that's very important, and also people do think that black iron itself, even though it seems kind of inert, right? People think that it does have some magical value to it. So if you swear a vow on it, it helps somewhat in changing your fate and things like that. But yeah, so the first vow is our background vow. And our background vow is one that we've already sworn previously, long time ago, to do. And it's not something that, it's something that we'd kind of work on if we had nothing else to do. And it's our goal in life. It's, the background vow and kind of things like that. And you can have Starforged games where you never touch the background vow at all. You do other things. But I'm gonna put the background vow. Our background vow is gonna be quite easy. It's gonna be deal with Jebediah Wolf. Deal with, did I say Jeremiah or Jebediah? I think I said Jebediah, but yeah, deal with Jebediah Wolf and Half Moon Industries. And it's going to be put on Epic, and what this means is, when we make progress on this, we just do one tick, and in order to complete it, we have to get more of these boxes ticked before completing it. If it was a troublesome vow, then obviously we can complete it quite quickly. If it was dangerous, then it takes a bit longer. But this is epic, so yeah, you can see that it's going to take a while, and we may never actually do this, because Half Moon Industries isn't, it's an entire corporation. We can't just, deal with, well, actually, do I want to deal with Jebediah Wolf, or do I want to deal with Half Moon Industries? Because Half Moon Industries can carry on without Jebediah Wolf. I'll leave it like that for now, and we'll see what happens. Because we may never even complete this, but let me think, what does Elise Holdermann want? Does she want Half Moon Industries to be dealt with, or does she want Jebediah Wolf to be dealt with? I think, being as young as she is, I don't think she cares. I think she just has a personal, you know how some people are annoyed at certain millionaires today? I think that she's just annoyed at Jebediah Wolf. We're going to make a deal with Jebediah Wolf, and he's going to throw, and that's going to be epic, and that may never get done, but that's what she wants. She's seen her family struggle. She's seen her grandmother go to the terminus to lobby for independent miners and traders. Her mother has taught us all of this. They've been struggling and all of that. She knows. She suspects Jebediah Wolf is the reason. She has if there was someone she'd throw darts at in her room, it would be a picture of Jebediah Wolf, who is obviously the big bad wolf. In case that wasn't clear. Okay, so the next one is board the starship. Excellent. So that's basically another asset, which is to represent our starship. I'm not going to pick it just yet, because we're not going to start on a starship. We're going to have to get to a starship first. So that is what I'll add the starship asset to this sheet when we've actually reached the starship. So the next thing is final asset. Yeah, I already picked that. That's demolitions. We're going to go with that. And let's see. Set our stats. Arrange these values across edge, heart, iron, shadow, and wits in the order 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Okay, so let me explain what these are. I think it's in summary, isn't it? Yes, it's in summary. So edge is your speed, your dexterity, things like that. Heart is your charisma, but also it is kind of your heart as a person. What you're caring about other people, your empathy, things like that. Iron, strength and constitution, stuff like that. Shadow, deception, lying, sneaking around. Wits, intelligent, perception, things like that. So what did it say? It wanted us to do 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Okay. So I am also going to base this on writing as well. So I think that she would have 3 heart, and let's see. I think that she would be quite fast as well. And what was the second 2? I'm going to put the second 2 in shadow, because I think the cloak is helping with that. She's like, oh, this cloak, and so she does all the sneaking around. Iron is going to be 1, because she's she's a young girl. She's not going to be super uber tough and everything like that. This adventure is kind of going to be a rude awakening as well. And her witch is going to be one as well. And the reason for that is in the story, in some instances in the story, her mother tells her, go to grandma's house, stick to the path, do not wander off. But she doesn't stick to the path. She sees some flowers, she wants to pick the flowers. She goes into the forest, and that's where she encounters the wolf. So I've put her wits at 1 because, in keeping with that, because I don't think that she's, the brightest light in the house. But yeah, so that's where that comes from. So let's carry on. Condition meters: health, spirit, and supply to 5. Momentum to 2, max momentum to 10, and momentum reset to 2. Coolio. So, health is 5, spirit is 5, supply is 5. Health is obvious, spirit is like our, morale and things like that. Our mental health. Supply is quite obvious, and momentum we talked about before. Because we'll be starting with Space Station, this should be free, but I'm gonna do it in episode 1, just so people kind of know what the Voidborn asset does at that point. So let's see. Envision your character. Note any key aspects of your character's look and personality. Excellent. So let's go to the bio and info, and there she is. And there she is. And the art, by the way, is done by someone called Roka on Fiverr. I'll put a link to their gig in the description, and I've honestly been blown away by this art. It blew me away really, because it looks so perfectly Starforged. Is there a way I can make this bigger? Maybe I'll show a bigger version later on. But anyway, yeah, that's what she looks like. Let's go to bio info. And yeah, so I don't really need a description of her looks, but I think for her personality, I think she's a bit rebellious a little, because, as I said in the story, her mother says don't wander off the path, but she's like, I'm going to wander off the path. And so yeah, I think rebellious, curious, and I think helpful as well. There's curious, helpful. So yeah, that's that. And gear up. Note any important... name your character. Write down your character's name, pronouns, and call signs. Already done. Elise, Holdermann. She, her. And the call sign is Riding Hood. And note down any important or unusual equipment and personal items. The good thing about Starforged is you don't have to keep track of all sorts of inventory stuff and things like that. But it's kind of abstract, and there's even a move so that you can see if you do have something you think you should have. If you think you should have it, you have it. It's kind of how Starforged rolls. Hang on. I want Riding Hood to stay there. But yeah, if you have it, you have it. If you think you should have it, then you have it. It's kind of how Starforged rolls, which is nice. And I think the only important gear really is, I'm going to assume she has like a pistol. I'm going to assume she has a pistol. She has the package, obviously. And so, yeah, I'm assuming she has a pistol, because in this type of world, everyone basically needs to have one. Let's see. Pistol. And yeah, she obviously has the magical red cloak. So, if I go here, is there anything left? The art in the Starforged book is also incredible. Like, it really is. Nope, that is it. That is character creation. Done. And that is Elise Holdermann Riding Hood. So, if you're still here, thank you for joining me while I showed you how I was making a character for Starforged. And in the next episode, we will actually begin our adventure in the Cradle. So I look forward to seeing you there. So take care and enjoy the rest of your day.